Hey YouTube, it's Mike Penn Gangster, and today I'm bringing you guys a formation to beat Park the Bus. Now, a lot of people are having issues with, I noticed a lot of people are having issues with Park the Bus type of opponents, right? So I'm going to show you what I use. Is it successful? I think it is. Depending, there's games where, of course, where it's just gonna not go your way. But overall, when you're having a hard time somebody beating someone that's parking the bus, like opening them up, like basically getting a goal or two on that opponent. I will show you which formation I go into. It's the 4-4-2, and you understand why it's very good versus players that play park the bus. Most players that play park the bus are gonna have a very low width with a very low depth, right? But what they're trying to do is basically have a very like tight, compact middle, because a lot of people that are using 4-1-2-1-2 narrow or using 4-2-3-1, it's considered a narrow formation, or even 4-2-2-2, it's kind of narrow. So these type of formations usually attack in the middle. So that's what they're trying to accomplish by having that low depth. So to beat park the bus, you have to have width. The 4-4-2 works perfectly for this. And I'm going to show you the tactics that I use. So these are the tactics right here. You need to understand one thing though when you do go try these things out, okay? Because I know sometimes people they play a game or two, it doesn't fit their style or whatever, and they don't think the formation works or the tactics work. You need to understand that any type of tactics that you're going to use, you may have to adjust a little bit for your liking, and also you need to play at least 5, 10 games to start understanding what's happening with the formation, the tactics, and everything. You can't just expect to play 1 game or 2 games and all of a sudden everything works. It just doesn't work that way. You got to practice playing versus certain people that are parking the bus with these type of tactics, because you need to also understand what's happening when you're using these tactics, because you need to adjust to it also, okay? So anyways, we'll get into it. Defensive style, we'll use balance. The width that we're using is 45 defensive wise. The depth is 70. Now the reason why we're using high depth, people that are parking the bus, since all their players are in their back end, you want to make sure your depth is very high so that when you lose the ball, you could basically stop them from countering you as fast as possible. So you're like in their face, right? Now there's people that are going to use stuff like press after possession loss, stuff like that, which you could test these things out yourself if you want to. I like to use balance. If I'm really behind by a goal or two in a game, I may put pressure after possession loss or constant pressure, but that is not something that I would do instantly. You know what I mean? First, if I'm having a hard time opening my opponent up when I'm in the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, let's say, I go into this formation to try to counter that park the bus style, okay? Now, for the offensive style, I use fast build-up with direct passing. The reason why I'm using this is because since my opponent is parking the bus, if I get a chance to get the ball when he's in my end, I need to build up as quickly as possible before his defensive formation lines up and park the bus. So I have that opportunity to counter him. So that's why I use fast build-up, and I use direct passing for the reason that whenever you use direct passing, you actually push his defensive line even deeper into his end. Okay, for people that already use direct passing, don't know what it is. When you're using the 4-4-2 and you're trying to beat someone that's parking the bus, it's very, very important that you have very high width. The reason why you're doing this is because you're trying to open up gaps. Okay, so you need very high width. So I use 70, and you need also a lot of players inside the box to basically give them a hard time to be able to mark all your players. So 7 players in the box is what a lot of people use, and I suggest you using also 7. It's very overpowered to use a lot of players in the box. It really like overwhelms the defense, in other words, because they can't just mark everybody. You'll see it if you play it. Corners and free kicks, you do what you want. I put 1 and 2. We'll go into the instructions. Have a little cough. I do apologize for that. For the forwards, I have them come back on defense. I know a lot of people are like, oh wow, is that a ratty? No, it's not ratty. It's basically whenever you're using some sort of tactics that have like fast build up in it, it's good to have your defense, to have your strikers and come back on defense, so that when you actually do get the ball to counter him, they're closer to you, so it's easier for you to give them a direct pass, okay, or a through ball, whatever you're looking for, okay. As you can see, I don't put no stay central, no getting behind, none of these things. Now, these are things that if you want, depending on the players you're using, you could change it up a little bit and try out what helps you a little bit more, right? for me, I like keeping these guys on balance. Like for example, I just got covered, so I don't really know too much about him. But I know Neymar, he does everything by himself. So I don't really need him to. I don't need to tell him to get in behind. He just does it himself. Um, the most important part of this formation is the left mid and right mid. You want them on comeback on defense, and you want them on stay wide and getting behind. Now, the stay wide is very important. As you can see, also the balanced crossing runs, I don't have them get in the box. The reason why I want them to make up their own decision when they do have to get in the box, because I do have them on stay wide. And the reason why I have them on stay wide is because what I'm trying to do is stretch out their back line. By doing that, it opens up gaps in this defensive line with 7 players inside the box, because your center mids are going to get involved. Okay, so you have your left mid and right mid on stay back while attacking. Sorry, come back on defense, stay wide, and getting behind. Both of them are the same. When you use your center mid in here, as you can see, I have mine on stay back while attacking, stay on the edge of the box, and cover center. They're both on the same thing. The reason why they're stay on the edge of the box is because Neymar and Kluivert are already going to be pushing their back line. So I need 2 players, my center mids, to be pretty much at the edge of the box so that there's a gap between my center mids and my strikers. Plus, my left mid and right mid are opening up the gaps on the wide. It's giving me space to do some direct passing, some R1X. For people that haven't been using these driven passes, you better start using them because they're very overpowered in this game. So that's what I use for my center mids. My left back and right back, they stay back while attacking. Of course, if ever you want even more players in the game with the D-pad, you just put your fullbacks on join the attack. So that's what I use for trying to basically counter park the bus. I always start off with the 4-1-2-1-2. Like I said, if I feel like I'm having a hard time breaking my opponent down, then I'll go into the 4-4-2 and I'll try to counter him that way. Of course, if it's around the 70th minute and I'm down by a goal or two, that's when I'm probably going to go back into my tactics and I'm going to put constant pressure on, pressure after possession loss or something. I'm going to try to I'm going to make sure I'm going to put my fullbacks on join the attack. I may even put on the D-pad like an extra attacker inside the box and so on, right? Use your D-pad for whenever you're behind the game, right? Team press, all that stuff, right? So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Go try it out. Like I said, you may have to play at least 5-10 games for you to be able to adjust to this type of formation, because not everybody plays 4-4-2 and not everybody's good at it, right? Because everybody has their own personal strength and certain formations they like to use. But the thing is, you have to understand one thing about this game. It's good to know multiple formations, because if you only play one sort of formation, you become kind of like how do you say this? You become kind of like obvious. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but you know what I mean. Like I'm trying to say, like, you become kind of predictable because you're only like a one trick pony kind of thing, So you have to be able to play at least 3-4 types of different formations to be able to adjust in games. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Go try them out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.